especially since, you know, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him. So he
responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol.
Canelo, man, I don't know if he's cheating.
What do you mean?
I feel like Canelo juices.
Boxing experts call out Canelo Alvarez for allegedly using steroids before the Terence Crawford match, sparking worry over his sudden muscle gain and past failed tests. David Benavidez also joins in, asking why Canelo avoids fighting him. If he's truly confident, he points out that 5 members of Canelo's camp tested positive for banned drugs, saying the whole team is dirty, including Canelo, adding more weight to the claims ahead of the big fight.
Greatest Mexican boxing fights of all time, you know, in my opinion. So I feel like I'm 100% confident in myself. If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me, especially since, you know, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him. So he never got off
You
the
think
steroids.
he's on steroids?
Of course. How does 5?
You saw De La Hoya
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? You know what I mean? All those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
I seen Eddie Reynoso on my fight, so we made a joke. He said like he came to watch me the fight and shit. And then they're like, "Oh, you think he's?" In my head, I'm like, "What do you think Eddie Reynoso's thinking about?" He's like, "Are we gonna fight David Benavidez after seeing this fight?" In his head, Eddie Reynoso was like, "Fuck no, we not fighting him."
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, honestly, I don't blame Canelo. It's fucked up because there's a lot of money.
It's not even about the money. It's not about the money.
Yeah, but okay,
100 million, dude. You think you kidding me?
The first step when you're a fucking warrior, bro, the only thing you think about is glory. I've never thought about money. I've been smart. I'm negotiating my shit. But it's always a prize, bro. It's always, if I go out there and beat Canelo, bro, I'm a legend. You know what I mean? That I'm gonna live forever in boxing as a legend. That means way more to me than any type of money.
And I think that separates you too, David. And I admire that shit about you. I was like that at one point. Now it's like, how much you giving me?
Yeah.
and not to just bypass him. Shout out to Morrell as well.
Yeah, shout out to Morrell.
To be
Eddie Reynoso's training camp is under heavy criticism, with claims that he personally gives fighters performance boosters. This includes Canelo Alvarez, who works under Reynoso and has twice faced steroid accusations. Critics note that several boxers from the same camp have failed drug tests, raising suspicion about the environment. As Canelo gets ready for his fight with Terence Crawford, many question how he's been able to build muscle so quickly.
Addressed serious accusations about his gym. And the accusations are that people, or at least the implications are, that he is the one that is providing performance-enhancing drugs or is in some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol 2 times. For Fahim Satur, I'll say that he did it 2 times, even though I think it was for the same fight. But Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for clenbuterol 2 times. You have Luis Nery, who had tested positive, but I think Luis Nery tested positive before he was with Eddie Reynoso. Then you have Ryan Garcia, who popped dirty after he left Eddie Reynoso and went over to Derek James. And then you have Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez popped dirty while he was with Eddie Reynoso, but at the time he was still allowed to fight. You also clearly see that you have an issue with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, in that you have one guy that tested positive and you have another guy that looks like he's using in order to get up and continue to climb up weight classes. You know, at a certain point in time, and this is something that Rolly Romero has said, certain point in time, your body just doesn't do that. At a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do it. I'm 6'2", 200, and should weigh about 210. Closer to 250, but I should weigh about 210. I'm not going to get up. If I was 210 now at 50 years old, I'm not. If by 55 years old, I'm not. The only way I'm going to get up to 260 of muscle is if I'm juicing.
Experts say gaining a lot of muscle naturally in your 30s is very hard. Yet Canelo now looks much bigger than before. This has fueled more talk, especially with Reynoso's camp's past record. Fans and analysts are asking if Canelo's size, jump is natural, or another example of PEDs quietly deciding big fight outcomes.
If for a 30-year-old, right, you remember, your body grows, men's body can grow in height and length up until to the extreme in your 20s. By the time you're 20, your height and all that stuff is there, right? Your height and your length. In your mid-20s, by the time you're 29, your musculature is pretty much there. It gets harder to gain and put on muscle after 30. So Canelo Alvarez is about to fight a guy that is going to put on 20 pounds of muscle.
Joe Rogan's comments on Canelo Alvarez have started serious talks in boxing circles. As a veteran voice in sports and physical training, Rogan noted how unusual it is for someone in their 30s to bulk up so fast. He stressed that natural muscle growth slows a lot with age, yet Canelo is breaking that pattern. Rogan says this isn't just suspicion, it's science. Achieving this naturally is almost impossible. When someone with Rogan's reach questions it, the sport listens.
Canelo, man, I don't know if he's cheating.
What do you mean?
I feel like Canelo juices. But I'm a Triple G fan, so I'm a say that ahead of time. I just like Triple G.
There's a lot of money on the line, and if I could get away with it, I would do it as well.
Some tainted beefs.
I think, well, he definitely got busted once for something, but it could have been from tainted beef. We don't know. But it also could be that, we should probably leave them the alone and let them do whatever they want to do. Do you want to see Manny Pacquiao fight or not? Right? I want to see him juiced up, fighting at 45 years of age, coming in with a full six-pack, lighting people on fire.
With the Canelo versus Terence Crawford bout nearing, steroid talk is getting louder among fans and media. Many admit they wouldn't be surprised if Canelo was using banned substances. The logic is simple. He has access to top-level gyms, diet, experts, doctors, and recovery systems with unlimited resources and the will to stay on top. The temptation to cheat is real. Critics say Canelo's surroundings give him every chance to use Pez without getting caught right away.
What up, everybody? It's your boy MC from MCTV. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez is on steroids right now as we speak and is going to be fully juiced with something that hasn't even hit the market yet. Think about it. He's pretty much a billionaire. He has access to everything.
Floyd Mayweather has never stayed quiet, especially about Canelo Alvarez. He's spoken before about steroids, saying most people are too scared to bring it up. Floyd claims boxing has a double standard. Some fighters are protected, others judged harshly. He says Canelo is in that safe group. To him, steroid use isn't just breaking the rules. It's dangerous and harms the sport's fairness.
But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. They don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights.
Leading up to Canelo versus Crawford, it's not just analysts making claims. Fans from both sides are accusing the other of abuse. Crawford supporters doubt Canelo's size and strength, while Canelo's fans question Crawford's stamina. At a higher weight, tension has grown so much that both fighters agreed to strict drug testing before the fight. These tests are not only for the officials, but also to assure the public. The fact both sides felt the need to prove they're clean shows how little trust there is in boxing right now.
Canelo and Crawford are strictly and consistently doing random VADA testing in order to silence each other's fanbase and their critics ahead of their showdown this September. Now, despite this being a normal thing, the gravity of this fight brings in more attention to their test results, partly due to the fact that suspicion regarding both men have been up as of lately. Namely, Crawford's sudden bulk and jump to 168 and his close relationship with Snack and Victor Conti, and of course the recent PED scandals being associated with Team Canelo, as well as him once testing positive for clenbuterol 7 years ago due to contaminated meat. With that said, both men have been doing random testing since June and will undergo strict and consistent random tests up until they finally meet next month. Now, it's worth remembering that despite all the recent allegations for Canelo and Crawford, both fighters have been consistent.
Canelo Alvarez didn't always have the power he has today. In his early career, he was smaller, faster, and fought like a welterweight. Over time, his build changed a lot. Now he's not only facing bigger rivals, but beating them with strength. This transformation has sparked questions about how he gained size so effectively. Some credit hard work and elite training, but others doubt it's all natural given his age and the sport's demands.
But I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo because, like I said before, he been putting big guys out and down. And Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe. And he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So, I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it. So, so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm up fight. At like 60 or like at least at 60, just to get his body, the feeling of somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that. I know when you go up a weight, you gotta, develop that power and not develop the power, but like put that muscle on and be heavier and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now. But I think he should just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long layoff or anything like that.
Nico Ali Walsh, rising star and grandson of Muhammad Ali, shared thoughts on how Crawford is preparing for someone as strong as Canelo. Walsh says Crawford isn't blindly walking into a size problem. He's training smart for it. Crawford has been sparring with larger fighters to get used to Canelo's pressure and power. Walsh sees this not just as brave, but smart strategy. He believes great fighters turn risks into opportunities, and Crawford is tuning his skills for exactly what Canelo will bring.
People with Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build-up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades. You can see it with his shadow boxing. You can see it.
Well-known boxing writer Dan Rafael explained why Crawford took this fight. He says it's not about money, but about making history. Crawford wants to be remembered as a legend who faced the biggest challenges. This fight isn't for safety, it's for legacy. Rafael knows the task is massive. Beating Canelo takes more than talent. It takes near-perfect execution. Any slip could cost Crawford the match, so every skill, from ring IQ to physical toughness, must be flawless.
I mean, here's the thing. Canelo Alvarez has a historically great chin. Now, I go way back when he first came to the United States and started boxing, and he found himself on an HBO pay-per-view undercard years and years ago, fighting against the older brother of the great Miguel Cotto. His name was Jose Miguel Cotto, and he had gotten a ton of hype. He had signed with Golden Boy Promotions, and a lot of those of us in the media. And I had seen him a couple of times before that. This is my first time seeing him in person, really paying close attention. And he almost got knocked out in the first round. And I remember Stephen A., all of us looking around at Media Row going, what the heck is this all hype about? This man can't take a shot. He's going to get drilled. He was lucky that the fight was over, that the round was over in round one, or there might have been some much more trouble. Stephen A., that was 16, 17 years ago. I've never seen him wobbled, rocked, physically, visibly hurt since then. He has an all-time great chin going in the ring with tremendous punchers. Terence Crawford coming up 2 weight classes, do any damage. Yeah, he's a slick boxer, and he's also a good puncher in the welterweight division, in the junior welterweight division, in the lightweight division. But even at junior middleweight, which is where Terence Crawford had his most recent fight back in August, when he moved up and he won a world title, He didn't blow the doors off. He fought a very tough, solid opponent named Israel Madrimov. He gave him a good fight. It was very close. Madrimov's people seem to think he might have even been able to edge it out. But if you can't hurt an Israel Madrimov at 154, what the heck are you going to do with Canelo Alvarez, the sturdiest guy in the world, at 168? So that aspect of it is certainly a problem. You mentioned about Charlo. Charlo was there to get his check. I know one thing about Terence Crawford. He's not going to just come to turn up to get the check. He'll at least try. And Charlo, I don't think, really tried.
That's all for today's video. Stay connected. Share your views in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.